Dear students, in the previous lecture of design of rolling contact bearings, we have seen the difference between the rolling contact bearings and sliding contact bearings, classification of the bearings. In case of rolling contact bearings, we have seen the different types of bearings and how to select that rolling contact bearings. The designation of rolling contact bearings we have discussed. Load ratings of the bearings we have discussed. Load life relationship between the bearings. For the bearing we have discussed, and we have calculated the dynamic load carrying capacity of the bearings. And in this today's lecture we are going to discuss about the different aspects. So what are the learning outcomes of the today's lecture? The students will be able to determine the life of the bearings having probability other than 90%. During the previous lecture, we have seen the life of the bearing which we have calculated was for the probability of 90%. So survival of the bearing is for the 90%, that we called it as a L90, or 10% of the bearings will fail, that is the L10. And we today will see what is the or how to calculate determine the life of the bearings having probability other than 90%. We will also calculate the dynamic load carrying capacity of the bearings subjected to variable loads. So what is the reliability of the bearing? The reliability is defined as the ratio of number of bearings which have successfully completed L million revolutions to the total number of bearings under the test. And the reliability of a bearing which we are selecting from the manufacturer's catalog having 90%, or we can call it as a 0.9. And the relationship between the bearing life and the reliability is given by a well-known scientist Weibull, that we called it as a Weibull distribution curve. And according to that Weibull distribution curve, the relation is given by L upon L10 is equal to log to the base E 1 upon R divided by log to the base E 1 upon R90 raised to 1 upon 1.17, where R90 is for the 90% reliability, that is 0.9, and R is particular reliability for which you want to calculate the life. Similarly, the L corresponds to R and L10 corresponds to R90. And this is the Weibull distribution curve, which is for life of the bearing versus percentage of the bearing in services. That is, we can call it also as a reliability. So as the reliability of the bearing increases, the life of the bearing decreases. So we will take one simple example if we want to calculate the life of the bearing for a particular reliability. So here it is the determine the life of the bearing for 60% of reliability. So substituting the values in this equation, so L60 upon L10 equal to log to the base E 1 upon 0.6, R is 0.6 for 60% reliability, whole divided by log to the base E 1 upon 0.9 raised to 1 upon 1.17, and from that we'll get the L60 is equal to 3.85 L90. And on the same line, if you substitute the values for the 50% reliability, so that 50% L50 will give generally 5 times that of the L90, and we know that we have seen this L90 life is also called as rated life and L50 is called as average life, and therefore the average life of the bearing is generally 5 times of that of rated life. So here also you can see that. Now this is the reflection spot where you have to answer the question. The relationship between the dynamic load carrying capacity C, the equivalent dynamic load P, and the bearing life L10 is given by. So here options are given and you have to quickly give the answer of the question. So you stop the video, give the answer and check the answer. So the correct answer is A. We will now see the dynamic load carrying capacity of a bearings when subjected to variable loads or cyclic loads. So we know that in some of the applications the ball bearings are subjected to variable loads or cyclic loads. So we know in case of machine design, when the components are subjected to the cyclic loads, at that time what we are doing, we are dividing that cycle in small elements and finding out the load acting on that particular elements, and for that particular element what is the life consumed, and accordingly we are going to find out. So the same way we have already discussed these things in the previous semesters to calculate the cumulative fatigue damage in the components by the Miner's rule. So we will also see here in this case, when the bearings are subjected to the cyclic loads, how to calculate its dynamic load carrying capacity. So in such cases, as I told you, we are going to consider its complete cycle but dividing it into small elements. So the procedure is nothing but work cycle into the number of elements, and during which the operating conditions of load and speed are constant. So the relationship between the dynamic load carrying capacity C, the equivalent dynamic load P, and the bearing life L10 is already we know that L10 is equal to C upon P raised to 3 into 10 to the power 6 revolutions, and 3 is for ball bearings. Okay. So now we'll consider rolling contact bearings subjected to variable loads. So here suppose P1, P2, P3 be the loads on the bearings for the successive N1, N2, N3 etc. number of revolutions. And if the bearing is operated exclusively at constant load P1, then its life will be given by the relation L1 is equal to C upon P1 raised to cube into 10 to the power 6 revolutions. So in a particular element, so first element, the load acting is P1, at that time its speed is N1. Similarly for P2 it is N2, and for that particular element when P1 and N1 is acting, at that time what would be the life of the bearing, that we can calculate. C is constant because it is the property of the bearing. So for this particular cycle, particular life, so out of the complete life, some fraction of the life of the bearing is get consumed because of the load P1. And how to calculate that? So that is fraction of life consumed with load P1 acting for N1 number of revolutions is N1 divided by L1. So N1 divided by, so it is instead of divided, it is make it reverse, P1 upon C raised to cube into 1 upon 10 to the power 6 revolutions. So here instead of writing it N1 upon C upon P1, I make it as P1 upon C. And similarly, we can write it for the cycles P2 and P3. So N2 upon L2 is equal to N2 P2 upon C cube into 1 upon 10 to the power 6 revolutions, and similarly. So, but this is the fraction of life, but the total for cycle complete life it would be 1. So addition of all these would be 1, and substituting the values of N1 upon L1, N2 upon L2 in this, we'll get this equation. So we'll simplify this equation. So here we'll get, after simplification, N1 P1 raised to cube plus N2 P2 raised to cube, N3 P3 raised to cube, so on. If there are more number of cycles, C cube into 10 to the power 6. So this is the one simplified equation we have got, and we'll give it as equation number 1. But if the equivalent constant load for the complete cycle would be PE, and that would be for n number of revolutions, then on the same line we can write it as like this, n equal to C upon PE cube into 10 to the power 6, or n into PE cube equal to C cube into 10 to the power 6. So this is the equation number 2. So we equate equation number 1 and equation number 2. So we'll get N1 P1 cube plus N2 P2 cube plus N3 P3 cube, so on, equal to N PE cube. And if we simplify this equation and substitute this N1 plus N2 plus N3 equal to N, so this is the equivalent dynamic load we have got. So PE equal to N1 P1 cube plus N2 P2 cube plus N3 P3 cube upon N1 plus N2 plus N3 raised to 1 by 3. Or this is also written in another form, so that you will get the idea. PE is equal to cubic root. So N1 here, this small N1 is nothing but here capital N1 is written. So N1 P1 cube plus N2 P2 cube, so on, divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3. So this is the equation using which we are able to find out the life of the dynamic load acting on the bearing when they are subjected to variable loads or cyclic loads. So we'll see one simple numerical to understand more the concept of cyclic loading. So here is a single row deep groove ball bearing and its dynamic capacity is given as 40,500 Newton, and these are the different operating cycles. So the radial load of 5,000 Newton at 500 RPM for 25% of the time, radial load of 10,000 Newton at 700 RPM for 50% of the time, radial load of 7,000 Newton at 400 RPM for the remaining 25% of the time, and you have to calculate the expected life of the bearing in hours. So this is a simple way. We know the data given to us is nothing but C is given 40,500 Newton. These are the element numbers. These are the loads. So here this P is written. P is nothing but the equivalent bearing load, and we know how to calculate the value of P. P is equal to XFR plus YFA, where X and Y are the factors and FR is radial load and FA is axial load. But in this case, the axial load is not given. So taking it as a 0, so your P becomes FR, taking X as a 1. Elemental time is written and speed is written. So we'll get the revolutions here in element time. So multiplying 500 multiplied by 0.25 is 125, 700 multiplied by 0.5 is 350, and this is total is 1, and this addition is this one. We know the equation equivalent dynamic load equal to cubic root of this. Substitute the values of N1, P1, N2, P2 and calculate the value. Just you pause this video, substitute the values and find out the answer, and the answer is 8860.06 Newton. So we have got the equivalent dynamic load acting on the bearing when it is subjected to cyclic load. Now we will calculate the life of the bearing. So we know the load life relationship is L10 is equal to C upon P raised to cube, as it is a ball bearing, so 3 into the 10 to the power 6 revolutions. Substituting the value of C, substituting the value of P, and we have got the L10 as 95 into 0.5 million revolutions. So this is the way you can try to solve the different numericals for the bearing subjected to so these are the references which we have used, and some question and answers, and we'll go for the quiz.